I mean, depending on where you're coming from, sure. Like, you know what I mean? I'll throw in an extra $5 if you're willing to just be convenient. Like, something like that is if the price is right too, you know. But
facts.
Other than that, like, I'm not about to like
niggas ain't.
Nah, if you live right down the street from me,
that's facts.
You shouldn't be selling out of your crib in the first place. So
it's a good point. Actually, I ain't make a good point. You know what I'm saying? Niggas getting jammed up
to people's like cribs and stuff. But
yeah, nah, that's facts. That's facts. Damn, I honestly niggas, if niggas had their shit set up right, they could have a little trap spot, have a little curbside delivery type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know
I mean, I knew somebody who used to do that.
Yeah.
Like they had the little like it's like the 2-story house with the like one window at the.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah,
wow.
At the bottom floor, but
wow, just reach in and go crazy.
Yeah, and just go.
Wait, but did you pay the nigga?
I mean, I never did because that was my man's. I just don't want to say his name.
Oh, like, yeah, nah. That's cool. I'm just thinking like, damn, you could get off because you know how like Chipotle be doing like or anything. You could order and they leave your food on the shelf, and I be thinking like,
yeah, like
anybody could just you pick up.
Yeah, like when I would do DoorDash sometimes, like I just think about like, I mean, there's somewhere they actually require you to like show them the ID and shit, and then like
really okay. Like, I've never been to a spot
like Shake Shack, for example. You can just walk.
You can walk right in there,
like,
bro.
You know,
when I went in,
I literally could just steal somebody's shit.
You could take
somebody could take mine.
They're not gonna say anything. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not promoting it. I just be thinking about like, damn, if I was
homeless, it's not.
It's an honor system, but I think we put a lot of honor in the motherfucker. But I think maybe that's
I know it happens every day.
That's what I was gonna say. Some of it may be accidental. Some of it is probably intentional. And then if I'm like I said, if I'm homeless or I'm struggling to eat, I'm dressing up and I'm walking in that joint and I'm taking my whatever I got and I'm going in there like I'm looking for my order.
Yeah. Or you don't even ask. You just you don't have to talk to anybody.
Nah, that's facts. Nah, but like, so I wanted to ask you though, like, to switch convos a little bit, right? So we was talking about XXL earlier.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like the girls is this year particularly, but I've said this for the last couple of years, they're bodying the dudes and when it comes to rap. So I wanted to know, what did you think about the XXL freestyles in general? I mean, let's just be honest. The bar is low for the XXL.
It is low. I mean,
you know what I mean?
But you can't even like, I don't even look at, which I think a lot of people don't really look at XXL the same way that we used to.
Yeah, the credibility
it's
is
like,
low.
It's no longer about, I don't even want to say talent, but it's like, it was a lot more like about bars and shit like that. It's just about what you're saying, like the ciphers and the freestyles and stuff like that. But now it's just like, it's your personality, you know what I mean? More than anything. Cause it's like, it's people that I could say I fuck with, but like, I don't listen to your music.
Right.
I probably wouldn't, but it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but like you said, I do feel like the women, particularly like in this year's class,
outshined a little bit. But so let's take it back, right? So we had there was a few standouts for me. I like the Lakia girl. I think
Lakia went the hardest.
Quality Control. Yeah. Shout out to Lakia QC. That I mean, she was rapping. I never heard of her either before. So you know what I mean. Flo Milli. I think that
Flo Milli's dope.
I think we talked about this though, like the girls took a lot of the Nicki Minaj influence and kind of put their own spin on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of their raps come with what would I say? It's very provocative, like
yeah, it is. Which it's funny because like
it's cool.
Like niggas are doing the same thing, but it's looked at differently.
And that's why I say it's cool, and I am not mad at it. I think Flo Milli's freestyle was hard. Originally, she came out talking about the, you know what I'm saying.
Did they do all the freestyles? I don't even know if I've only seen like.
So
I think I've seen 3, but that might have been
3 groups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw 3 groups as well. So I don't know I think that might be everybody because
I don't.
It was only like 9 or 10 people on there. So
Yeah.
You know, but I think Flo Milli and Lakia were my standouts personally. You know, the guys kind of disappointed me. 42 Doug.
I liked
Shiesty.
I think Blast and Lakia were the best to me personally. Like, I mean,
Blast
I
was
listened.
dope.
I listened to Blast like before he got on the XXL.
Yeah, I've heard of Blast as well. Blast was dope. This is my only caveat to Blast and like Murray. Shout out to Murray because I think he actually really freestyled. He's
talented.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. That's another thing. People be going on the double X. They not really freestyling. They coming up there. How do you feel about that? Actually, like, would you go on there if you could go on there and spit your shit? Would it be a freestyle off the top, or is it something that you've already pre-written type shit? Because like,
I mean, I just feel like it depends on the artist. Like me, like, I consider myself more of a writer. Like, I can freestyle.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I like to do it like for fun type shit. Like, I feel like in that kind of environment, I feel like most artists definitely come with the pre-written for that reason, to like show what they can do.
True.
You know what I mean? Because if you go on there and you say some bullshit, it's like, I mean, that's it.
That's facts.
You know, like, you can't,
because it's going out. Yeah.
So
well, actually, I've heard a couple of different things. I think they do kind of edit some of it. Like, I think some of them redo.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they have multiple takes.
Right. So it's not one take, you know, and then it's done.
Nah. I mean, I've even thought about that, like with other freestyle aspects and like flex and stuff like that. Like, I'd be wondering,
I've heard
like,
about that.
You know, do niggas mess up? And,
Yeah.
You know, because
I've heard only a couple of artists, including Black Thought. Shout out to Black Thought, that have went through the first time and didn't have to, you know, no rerun. So, or retakes, but. I think the Double XL, shout out to all the artists, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to all of them. I think it was an interesting group, right? Because I don't listen to most of them. I do listen to, like you said, Blast, and I've heard Murray on the 21 Savage. So, you know, I think they're coming up, you know, shout out to DDG.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
Because it's... Yeah.
I hope to see progression, you know, in some of the, you know, 42 Doug, you know, I like 42 Doug. I think he could rap too.
No, he's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what.
But I am curious to know what type of music we're gonna get from this new group, just in general, not even them, like the people who didn't make it.
It's about to be a different decade for sure. Like,
right.
I couldn't really tell you what direction music is heading in. You know what I mean? But I also feel like that's why. You know, like, even though I might not listen to a lot of like the newer artists. Like, I always like keep my ear in it for sure. Like, you know, just because it's what I do. But at the same time, it's like, I do feel like the older you get, you still have to pay attention to what's going on with the younger. You know what I mean? Like the newcomers, just because it's like, I mean, that's how you stay afloat. You know, you can't.
Facts.
No matter how you feel about it, like you can't really hate on it at the same time, because at the end of the day, it is where it's going.
It is where it's going, and that's a fact. I think a lot of the older dudes, you know,
they have a hard time coming to terms.
Hard time accepting this shit, exactly. And they got to remember, like, the forefathers for them were looking at them as the new dudes at 1.2, and it wasn't as much. Hey, I don't know if it was, but I know that they were pretty much more accepting to things changing and just adapting, instead of being like, nah, the new kids is wild. I don't understand what they talking about. So, you know, I agree with you. You got to adapt. You can't kind of get stuck in your own ways thinking like, oh, music is supposed to sound one way. And so, to be honest with you, that's why I even listen to the freestyles. Because I'm like, I can't just not listen to these niggas just because this is not my type of go-to music.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing too. Like, rap has now become, it's almost like every genre infused into one now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you have people with rock elements, or, I mean, shoot, we've heard country over trap beats. You know what I mean? We've heard it all at this point. And it's like, it's just, I mean, you got to take it for what it is. You know what I mean? You either like it or you don't.
Well, let me ask you that. Now that you say that, right? So 2020, we weren't fully outside. Well, we weren't really outside. Well, some people were. Most people weren't. How you feel about the 2020 music scene, and, you know, maybe, you know, hearing new artists, getting your music out there, your creative like, was it stale as a whole for 2020 when it came to music? Because I felt like
I felt like it was stale,
right?
You know, but I mean, that's nobody's like fault really. Just
no,
we know what the year like came with, but it was just like, I mean, particularly for me, I feel like it never felt like the right time to like drop or actually, because you can't really the vibes have to be right, number one, and it was so much going on last year that it's just like, you know, when do you feel like is the right time to try and catch people's eye? Like, I didn't want to take anything away from everything that was going on in that moment, you know what I mean, or make it even seem like, you know what I mean, because particularly like in the summer when all the like, you know, the racial injustices was going on. Is
right. You felt like it almost would have been like insensitive or like, you know, damn near selfish to just put something out.
Yeah,
you know,
people were like, artists and I guess just entertainers in general were having a hard time maneuvering through that whole.
For sure.
Because when they would, it's like when they would put something out that wasn't really like related to the subject at hand, people would be mad.
For sure.
Like, oh, so you don't care about you know, everything that's going on. So
right.
like,
I remember even putting out an episode and having to put like a disclaimer, like, you know, this is like, I was like, yo, when you move this, just be careful because it's picking up on the feedback.
Oh, you can hear it?
Yeah. So just be diligent. But nah.
Can you hear me straight?
Yeah, you know, you sound good. It's just we pick up everything. But yeah, I remember we put out a disclaimer saying, you know, like this was before the George Floyd incident, you know, rest in peace. And you know, you had to tread carefully, so you felt like the creative process was a little like hindered. Not even a little, it was a lot of hindered.
It was hindered because there was less expression unless it was like, you know, towards a cause, which, you know, and I'm not mad at that because I feel like at the same, like, obviously shit needed to be in the spotlight.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
and it should still be that way.
Yeah, it should still be that way, you know. So nah, it definitely, but I mean, music in general, I feel like suffered more because, I mean, I don't know, like if Corona happened in like the 90s, say for example, I don't know if music really would have been still the way it was.
Oh, you think it might have still?
Just because like you had a lot of like conscious rappers and just people who were about the cause, like the revolutionaries, and they probably would have taken more advantage of it. You know what I mean? Now it's like,
it's a good point.
We make party music nowadays. You know what I mean? Or at least that's what we put in the mainstream. So
true.
You know, it's just like nobody was going to the clubs last year. So
yeah. You know, no, you're right.
And there were some good albums that dropped. You know what I mean?
I was about to say before we get off this topic, I think that I commend any artist who drop. You know, whether it's gospel, whether it's R&B, whether it's rap. Like if you dropped a project in 2020 music, like, cause I don't even think people was checking for music. Like it felt so stale in 2020. Like when I look back in hindsight, like I wasn't even really checking for music. Like I wanted it, but then nothing hit when it did drop. Right. Like it felt like, okay, I want to be like, out with my
exactly.
You know what I mean?
A lot of music today is just about the vibes and the energy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
And you know, I was telling you earlier, it's like, you know, thinking back to like 2016 when I was looking on my playlist on SoundCloud. It's like,
right.
It felt like there was a lot of anthems and stuff like that, which, I mean, I do still feel like nowadays we don't get the same effect just because there's so many artists that everybody keeps an eye on. But it's like, I do think that the moments that you have like outside is what like equates to something feeling like a classic to you, or just feeling like, oh yeah, I'm gonna remember this song.
That's true.
Moment, stuff like that. So
and locate like wherever you at, like, you know, everybody has music where you there's a song that'll play to this day, and if it comes on, you'll be like, damn, I was.
You get shot back to a memory.
You know, wherever I was in LA, I was in, you know, the Midwest, I was wherever, St. Louis, I was in DC, I was somewhere, and I heard this, and it was just a vibe. But yeah, man. So I think 2020 was a hell of a year in terms of creation and music. But you know, do you still think we kind of seeing the effects of that right now? So we're halfway through 2021. It's July. It's actually damn near August. So you still feel like we seeing, you know, that 2020 drops? Because there's been a lot of albums that have dropped this year, to be honest, and it's like a lot of stuff's not sticking. I don't know about how y'all feel, but I don't feel like stuff is sticking like that. It's not resonating, you know. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not going as many places as I used to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think. It's definitely hitting more than it did last year. You know,
100%.
Because I can 100%. At least, like, I'd have to look on my phone to see what dropped in 2020. Even though, like, I know there
we
was
talked
some
about
good
that
stuff
too.
that dropped. It's like I probably wouldn't be able to name it off the top of my head just because last year was a blur. But like, you know, I can at least say this year that there's like albums like that I know that you know what I mean, or albums I'm anticipating too. You know what I mean? Like
facts.
Cole was
that
dope, you know Tyler was dope.
Shout out to Cole's album. It's very hard.
It's a few joints that dropped that like, you know, Larry. Like personally, the people that I've But
yeah, Rashad is coming next week. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do think though.
Hard.
You know, again, back to the point of, I don't know if like things have the same effect generally. Like,
Okay.
you know, I don't really look for that from the artists that I genuinely listen to like on a daily.
Right.
Like, I'm not looking for you to make a hit all the time or something that, you know,
Yeah,
I just like to ride around, get where I'm going, whatever. But
shout out to Vince Staples' album. That's a good one for that.
But yeah, like, I don't know, and I haven't been in the clubs and stuff either, so I don't really know what.
Bro, literally, I sent you a song the other day, and I'm like, I heard it on somebody's Instagram story, and I was like, what song is that? And I really feel like when I heard it, like, I don't think it's like the best song ever, but I like it a lot because I felt like if I heard that outside with the guys, like, we would be.
Yeah, you know what it would be. Like,
oh my God. So I'm just like, I'm like almost itching to hear it outside. It's not, I don't even want to be outside with y'all because y'all motherfuckers is nasty. Still, I don't care vaccine, no vaccine. Y'all are bugging.
We just got out of it.
Yeah, y'all are bugging. Like, but I want to hear certain things outside. I do want to be outside. I want to be in a section and hear some shit sometimes. So,
because I mean, if you were to ask me what, you know, the top 5-10 songs are right now, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Right, but my thing is, the reason why I say do you feel like it's still a dry spell with music? Because it's like, you know, Pop Smoke's album just dropped. I'm not sure how y'all feel about it. I didn't get through it yet, so I'm not gonna make it.
In my opinion.
Right, I'm not really big on the posthumous albums and making money off the dead, but you know, I don't even want to talk about all that. I just would say I felt like that dropped, and then you got who else dropped? G Herbo dropped. Just a lot of drops, and you be like, dang, like you dropped a couple weeks ago. I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
so
if you're not like fully keeping up, like, you know, you might feel behind when you see certain things. Like,
But see, that's my thing, and that's why I was asking you. I was like, bro, like, I don't know how to even like keep up with some of the music no more. Like, like I feel like all Apple Music and these streaming services do is push the mainstream shit. They don't really.
Yeah,
show.
and I mean, you can kind of blame. I mean, it is artists, but then it's like
us?
labels are scrambling.
Okay.
As well.
That's facts.
To find their footing again, you know, because
that's facts.
You know, people aren't selling the same way they
people
used to.
People aren't touring as much.
So
that's true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Well, so, you know, speaking of artists dropping and stuff like that, you know, you have a new project that's about to come out. You know what I mean? So, you know, what can we expect from your project, given that, you know, we come off of a dry year and you know, there was a lot of content to take from and stuff like that. But
I mean, it's just,
what's the difference between this and the first one? You know what I mean?
It's a lot of life that was lived, you know, since. It's a lot of growth compared to the first one. Because, I mean, the first one was just getting my foot in the door, just putting something out. And I still hold it to a high regard.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's still, that's a timeless project to me personally. But
go stream it. Everything iRIE. That shit is hard.
But this one just feels like a more, I guess, mature version of where I'm at as an artist. Because it's like, you know, I finally got the chance to look at what I liked about what I did on the first one and just amplify that, you know what I mean? Or just level up in that sense, you know, and just switch up, try to bring something new to the table at the same time too. Like, you know, it's going to be some new vibes on there that, you know, I probably didn't tap into on the first one. You didn't
explore on that first one. So you feel like maybe the first one was like, I think we talked about this, but like, is the first one for like the inner, not even the inner circle, but for like the people, you know, like to be like, hey, like this, I'm doing it, I'm taking this serious. And then that second one,
like, I mean, like definitely the first one was a statement, you know, like for everybody out there,
take it serious,
and myself as well, though, you know, because it's like, I guess that's the difference between these two. Really, is like, the first project felt a lot more, I mean, shit, it was called Everything iRIE. It was everything me, you know what I mean? Like, I was at a different place in my life at the time. So this one is more like just about I think it's going to be things that people can take from it and just, you know, go the long way with it, you know, as opposed to this one, like, where it's more about me, like,
got you
on Everything iRIE. But, you know, I mean, we went through, I've been making it for like 2 years. I mean, really, like, after Everything iRIE dropped, you know, I chilled out for a little bit. You know, I basked in the moment, and then it's like I just got right back to it.
Right back to it.
I didn't really know what it was gonna be, but I just, you know, I knew I was working again on something.
Right. Facts.
So I mean,
so you said something there, right? So I wanted to ask this because I've heard this before, that the first project that an artist drops, you have your whole life to create on your first project. You agree to disagree or disagree with that? Like, you feel like that's true?
Depending on where you're at, you know what I mean? Some people don't even make the first, nowadays, until like the first project, until they get signed. So it's like, because a lot of people blow up off of singles nowadays. But
that's true.
I mean, in general, yeah, like I feel like, at least in the position, like if you're in my position as an artist, it's like, yeah, you don't, you know, especially if you're not really talking about it, like you could work on that for 10 years, however long you want. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's different when it's expected that you're following it up, and it's just like, okay, like, you know, what's next?
Right. So, you felt like with 2020 you had that what's next pressure at all, or it actually got lessened a little bit because you didn't really have to drop anything, or you might not have felt the urge?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I knew what I was doing throughout 2020, even though it was just like it was a weird year, and it was like, you know, I still had to find my own placements in terms of, because I wanted to drop last year, but then it was just like, you know, the deeper in things that it got last year, it was just like, nah, I'm gonna just chill out and get myself right. You know, I focused on myself most of last year. And I mean, it's not like we stopped doing things though. It was just all behind the scenes. Like,
facts.
You know, we finally have a foundation. The website is up.
That's facts.
Like, you know,
That's
it's not
facts.
like things didn't happen. It was just like, all right, like, you know, let's get the foundation set, and then we can run with it when it's finally time to. But I mean, yeah, like I like working on projects, like, genuinely. You know what I mean? I enjoy that process. Like, it's a lot, but
yeah.
You know, I like to put together bodies of work and stuff, and just, you know, seeing how I've grown as an artist is cool, because I get to just like sit back and be like, all right, you know, this is a little different. Like, you know, let me see how people take this or how they feel about that, you know, so.
Right. No, and you touched on a good point though with the, you know, the work. There's other work to be put in, like working on, you know, the website and stuff like that, the merchandise. formentertainment.com. Go get what you need to get.
Man. You know I started working on the beats. Like, I got to
being
like
multifaceted within your own art
to finally like dive into the stuff that, you know, it's like when you're making a project, at least for me, it feels like you're just on a highway and you can't really get off it, and you just know that, you know, you're gonna put this out at some point. But to me, it's just all about buying myself time. You know what I mean? It's like knowing that I could put out a full body of work. You know what I mean? It's like I had the ability to just chill for 2 years and not feel like, oh damn, I gotta follow this up immediately. You know what I mean? Because it's quality.
Facts.
So
what approach did you take with this project? You know, creatively, you know, what was your approach with it? Because I know you said it's gonna be different, and you're gonna have, you know, a different level of artistry on there. But what was the approach with it? Did you look at it like, I did this the first time with everything iRIE, now I'm going to like experiment with new sounds, new producers, you know, work with different?
Yeah, definitely. Like, this one was more, which is funny because even though last year was a lot more, I guess, closed off from like the outside world, I made a lot of connections through the first project, through everything iRIE, that I was able to like capitalize on.
That's important.
You know what I mean? Like, when I like, shout out to Roach, by the way, you know, like him,
Roach,
he had 2 beats on everything iRIE, and then it was like, you know, now, you know, I talk to him often, so we were able to like, he's got a few on the next one, and it's just like, but that's, you know, just off me knowing him now, instead of like, yo, I came across you, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Because I remember you even sent me some producers in Chicago that was just like listening to your music, and they was like, yo, that joint is hard. It was during 2020.
Yeah.
Like, I think they was in Chicago, but it was some artists or producers that was in the studio, and they was just playing music, and you go on Instagram Live or whatever, and you could see them reacting to it. That shit was cool. And that's
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was dope.
That was like, you know, you don't even know who those people are, but you got 2 people in a random studio listening to your stuff, you know, rating it positively. So I mean, and that all happens through the networking of it all.
Right,
You know what I mean? So I think that's dope though. Cause
yeah, like the first, with everything iRIE, it felt like I was kind of letting I had my own vision of things, but I also felt like I was letting the sounds find me in terms of like production and shit like that. You know what I mean? And now it's like I know what I want, I know what I'm going for. So it's like, and I have the people that can
get it
bring
done.
me that. You know what I mean?
Execute.
So, yeah. So this one is a lot more, I guess, just fleshed out in terms of like the vision that I wanted for it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So everything's fleshed out. You feeling good about the project? You have the sound identified. Are you still working on it? Like, is there a release date? Like, do you have things, listening party potentially? Like,
yeah, man. Like
in terms of promotion, like how you approaching all of that?
It's kind of week to week right now.
Okay.
I mean, I do have a release date in mind. I don't really want to like say it right now, just because I'm like, I don't know for sure if I'm gonna stick with that date, but it's real soon, like matter of weeks at this point.
Got you.
So before the summer's up for sure. But yeah, like I'm trying to, mainly because the album itself is pretty much done. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It's most of the mixing is done as well. I think it's that's it. Like at this point, it's just promotion. And trying to figure out how I'm gonna get it to y'all.
That.
So
yeah. That's the hardest part when you're doing this shit and there's no funding behind you. You don't have a label and you don't have like a large investor, but just figuring out like what strategy to take to get it to people outside of your network is the hardest part.
Yeah, it is. And it's like it's dope though, because it's like I'm able to look back on everything iRIE and it's like I can see how well it did just off the strength of the network that I already have. You know what I mean?
True.
Like it's
which is that means your inner network is that strong, right?
Right. It's like it's 7 people in Form Entertainment. And, I think I haven't checked in a little bit, but I know like earlier in the year it's past like 13,000 streams. You know what I mean? So like that's like 7 people extended to the people we all know, and then it's like whoever else. So it's like
whoever else gets
all
it.
we can do is just
because you got people who've written blogs about your first project too.
So it's just it'll gain the right traction,
Right.
But I just feel like now, since I've done it before, I have a better chance to actually try and control where it goes.
Facts.
So
it's much more. The direction is a lot more clear.
Yeah, and it's like it's still a learning process. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not there yet. So it's like I can still make my mistakes, or I can still, you know what I mean? I mean, I always feel like the one that I'm about to drop is the one, But
yeah, right. That's what I was about to say. Like I feel like artists or just creatives, you always feel like whatever you just put out is the best. Like I know oftentimes I've never finished an episode on a podcast and been like, yo, that was trash. I always feel like, yo, that was the greatest.
Like I feel like every song on the project, on this project it could stand on its own. It's 14 tracks and every one is a hit to me.
Exactly.
So
and I think that's a little bit of a creative pride, like because you made something you feel like, which is there's nothing wrong with it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a positive, and it could be
because it's like you also I mean, as an artist you also have a lot of shit that hasn't come out and probably won't see the light of day as well. It's whether it's good or it's bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like
might just be for you.
This is and it's like I feel like what I'm putting out is the best of the best, like representation that I could give for what I'm aiming for. So
with that being said, I want to say this question is something that I think about often. What would be one thing you would want someone to know who comes across this video who's never heard your music or never heard of you? Like what would be one thing you want them to know about your music or yourself?
Man, I'm just trying to be me.
Authentic.
What I mean? Like I've always had the mentality of like you could take what you want from what I do. Like everything is kind of up to its own interpretation. But I guess with this like particular project, you know what I mean? I'm gonna just give y'all the title. It's Life Lessons to Live By. I feel like this is a project that everybody can take something from it. You know what I mean?
It's important right now too. People.
Not even in terms of like, okay, this sounds good, but just the messages behind things. You know what I mean? So
I think that if you stand for something, you know what I mean, it'll always resonate with individuals.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't stand for nothing, it may be momentary. We might party to it. We might have, get drunk.
Right. You know what I mean? And I think there's something for every moment on there for sure. You know what I mean?
And that's also key.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's a lot of, I feel like it just all stands for something individually, and I think it also it's very cohesive at the same time. Right.
Because I mean, when I had originally got the idea for it, it was originally like 3 different EPs.
Right. You did say that.
Into life lessons and to live by, so I was able to kind of look at it from different like sections, and I didn't make each one like simultaneously, but like I just knew, okay, like this is starting to actually like put a bigger picture together. So I was like, I might as well just make this like the full length.
Yeah. So it's like segmented, but within the segments, they all, they all kind of, they're all layered in a way that they make sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not just sporadic. It all has some sort of like meaning for one song being there to the other. And I think honestly, at the end of the day, that's another thing that I think albums lack right now. You listen to an album, it's just a bunch of like random shit just on a project. It don't have like no story to it. Don't have really no background. Don't have no. There's no order really, and it's fine with being like spontaneous, but to some degree you kind of want some cohesiveness.
You know what I mean? Like I was actually having this conversation with Zay the other day. Like it's funny because we were playing a bunch of like throwbacks, and like back then you had a lot more songs that the hook was the subject of the track.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It all came full circle, but now it's like the hook it could be whatever, and
it could be
the verse
anything.
doesn't have to have anything to do with you know what I mean?
Right.
So
let alone the song title too. We now and there you can name the song title,
Yeah, anything. You know what I mean? Like,
and before you could look at the song title and know what the song was about. You know what I mean?
And I like the artists who are actually like creative. Like for example, I mean Young Nudy is one of my favorite artists. You know what I mean? Like he's you know what I mean? It's like at surface level you're like, this isn't like, what is this? You know what I mean? But when you read the titles and then you hear the song, it's like, oh damn, like you know what I mean? Like he's actually, it ties into the title of the track, even though it seems random. It's like, oh damn, you know what I mean? Like I like things like that where I could, like Smino had a track called
Smino. Oof.
What was that called? It was off of Noir, I think it was.
The last one or Black Swan?
Dreezy was on it.
Oh.
The title was like,
was it
Fenty? What is it?
Hold on.
I might, yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. But I know what you're talking about, and I think Smino and Nudy, I think they're real artists though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they care about their craft.
Yeah,
you know
like no disrespect to all the other artists, but I feel like they care a little bit more.
Yeah, nah.
It's called Fenty Sex.
Was that the one? Let me see that.
But
Makeup Sex. Cause you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
got you.
It's like it's its own like.
It's a play on. It's a play on that.
And assembly or some metaphor.
But see, the thing is though, I feel like even this song, like he picked a girl artist who could actually rap. You know what I mean? You got Valley on it. You picking people who actually care about the craft as opposed to like the, you know what I'm saying, the mainstream shit, which ties into the meaning of song names and shit. Like people who don't care, if it's a money grab, you're gonna name the song whatever, you're gonna put out whatever, the cover art gonna be some diamonds or some shit.
And see, we have a lot of like casual listeners now, especially,
and that's true.
Rap is the most popular genre right now, but it's like, I'm somebody who pays attention to everything.
Exactly.
So it's like I really appreciate the little things, which is why I put so much thought into my own shit.
Facts.
Because I'm like, I see how much something so subtle can go like the extra mile in terms of like how you get perceived as an artist,
That's a fact. So you care about the art, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the people. What the funny thing is, you know what I mean, about up and coming artists that don't got like the backing by the big labels and shit. The shit that pop be the shit that you put out a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it may not be the ones that you think were gonna go in the moment. It's like people catch on 2, 3 years, 4 years later. Like, yo, I've been put that out. That's been out for a while. I created it even longer than before it came out. So when it pops, a lot of artists be like, I'm not even I'm not even like, you know what I mean? This was a hit within my own little.
Yeah, nah, and that's really I mean, I don't want to say that's all I needed, but that's what I appreciated the most. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, shit, like, I know I have like people in my corner that if I wasn't supposed to be doing this, they would, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of niggas who don't have homies to tell them not to do something.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's a whole nother topic we won't even get into, but that's a fact. So I'm excited for the project, man. I mean, anything else you want, you know, people to know about, you know, the project and what you got coming?
I mean, yeah, it's 14 tracks. I wish I could give y'all the release date right now, but, you know, just stay tuned to the IG and you know, wherever else.
Yeah,
peep the website as well.
Facts,
you know
peep the website.
Dope merch on there. We got more merch coming.
More merch.
You know, and it all just ties together. So
formerentertainment.com. Follow the Instagram pages, you know, follow my man when he drops his shit, you know. And listening party, right? You know what I mean? You might do a listening party.
So, that's also something, like, a lot of stuff is just in the works it'll be set in stone hopefully by the end of this week. I mean, by the time this drops, like, it'll already be
facts
done,
exactly.
But,
whenever,
you know what I mean? So yeah, just look out, pay attention, you know what I mean? Stay tuned, man. No, I'm excited.
Here's to the gunshot. Yes sir. Yes sir. Yeah man.
But
yeah.
And you know, like, just the brand as a whole, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna stop at the project, you know. Cause
yeah.
You know, we got, you know, Hurt, Zay, everything. You know, it's all just gonna come together. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. It's an inclusive group we got. You know what I mean? Everything's in house. Well, I feel like, you know, I'm excited for you know, I've heard it, so you know what I mean. But I want, you know, everyone else, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't need niggas to show me what they can do. I know what you can do. I know what he can do. You know what I mean? We just want our shit to get to the point where everybody else is buying it. You know what I
that's
mean?
what it's about. And I mean, you know, I don't have a doubt that it'll make it there. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
It's only a matter of time at this point. You know?
Consistency and networking and all of that, man. Everything gonna work out. So I'm excited, man. I hope y'all fuck with it for real.
Personally, like, you know, I want to be able to, cause I really, you know, I don't plan to rap forever, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like, most rappers shouldn't be. This shouldn't be the, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even be planning to do whatever you're doing forever. Like, you want to advance, you know?
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
Going,
you know, I already have my mind on what's next. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
good.
But, you know, it's just the consistency. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody will be able to say, like, you know, he missed with this one. So.
That's hard.
Yeah.
And 14 tracks is perfect, by the way. I just want that's all I'm gonna say. 14 a lot of y'all be putting out 20, 30 song. I mean, oh my Lord. Y'all have to stop that. That's too much.
See, and it's crazy because people don't even know, like, shout out to Melvin as well, Disco Sundays. Cloud9 is the interlude from that project.
Facts, right.
A lot of people don't know that that's actually, like, on there, and it's you know, it's doing real well too. So.
It is doing well, and that's always dope when artists put a song on one, like, it's on a project, and then they can also use it because they have the rights to use it on their own project. Like, I like that. But Cloud9 is a vibe. Issa Rae, I hope, or whatever, you will pick that up. That sounds like a Insecure song. Not Insecure in that way. The show Insecure. That should be on Insecure at some point where, you know, Lawrence is trying to get Shorty back and they're at a coffee shop or something, you know what I mean? Like at a pool or something, anything. But yeah, no. Cloud9 is hard. The whole project is, you know what I mean? So this is gonna be good. I can't wait for this to drop, you know what I mean? We can keep the content going, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You already know what it is. I think this is like episode 22, Subtle Impact TV. You know what I mean? Fuck all that outro shit. We out.